I will die. I will cease to exist as a sentient being in this ethereal plane. This is all I know. I feel that at the end of this existence, I will face neither an unenviable heaven nor an unjust hell, that I will return to the headwaters of the river of life and once again flow to the sea.
My name is Sheenan Cole. As a college student, I'm inundated daily with religious propaganda, from billboards and church signs to people handing out religious pamphlets on campus or preaching in the courtyard. My English literature class even requires for us to study and test on religious doctrine. It's natural for human beings to ask the big questions. Where did we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? But what if the answers to those questions were stardust and nowhere? Atheism is one of the fastest and largest growing minorities in the country. I decided to talk to an atheist to hear his side of the story. Welcome to the Skeptic Files. So would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Dick Cooper. I'm an atheist. I've been an atheist for 25 or 30 years, and at this point in my life, I'm also an ordained preacher.
So how'd you become an atheist?
I can trace it to one particular incident that occurred when I was 5 years old. I was in a Sunday school class, and I asked a question that I thought was quite relevant at the time, for a 5-year-old mind, I guess. I asked, isn't Jesus and Santa Claus the same thing? And instead of getting an answer for my question, I got swatted on the butt and put in a corner for the end of the class. And I was, pretty shocked. I mean, not so much that I was physically abused, that was something that didn't regularly happen to me, but simply that they didn't answer my question. And so I knew I was onto something.
So how has atheism affected your family?
It's had quite an impact, to be honest. My daughter, whose mother is Catholic and she was raised in the Catholic Church, has recently become an atheist as well. Not that I pushed her in that direction. As a matter of fact, it's more like that the religion pushed her away than I did anything to instill that dislike for it in her. But she has definitely grown to dislike that religion. And then also my grandfather, who was part American Indian, I wouldn't say he was an atheist. I think he did possibly believe in some kind of superior being or some force of nature, if you will. But he was certainly not happy with the Christians that had oppressed him through most of his life. And when I was a child, I can remember distinctly when he would see a Christian do something that most Christians do, he would comment, "There's a good Christian for you."
So you used the term dumbing down. What did you mean by that?
I think it can be traced back to the early 50s, when there was an effort made to make this country a more religious country. And some things were done that were just kind of overlooked at the time, but it proved to be very significant. First of all, the motto of this country, which had been E pluribus unum, one from many, was changed to, in God we trust. The other thing was the placing of the term under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. That's something I've never said as part of the Pledge of Allegiance, because I learned the Pledge of Allegiance before it was put in 1954. And my grandfather's reaction to that being put into the pledge was so dramatic and so out of context for him that I realized the terrible significance of it, and I've never done that. But those two events basically began the rise of this country as a, quote, Christian nation, or the thought that it was. And that, in order to do that, and to satisfy the need of becoming that, it was necessary to basically dumb down the population.